So the awareness section in the thalamus says, ooh, I'm really enjoying this. And the hypothalamus says, okay, increase blood flow or decrease blood flow, increase adrenaline, whatever. The endocrine system and pituitary glands are completely controlled by the hypothalamus. There's some indication, and of course I'm really up on diabetes, something could have happened to Anthony or anybody else with type 1 diabetes could have affected the hypothalamus to cause an autoimmune response to shut down beta cells. Your emotional and behavioral patterns are controlled by the hypothalamus. So if you're a happy person, or if you are an impulsive person, this is all controlled in that region of your brain. Yeah, not really. No, excitement and fear are going to be in the medulla oblongata. So even that grandma or whatever, that mother and water boy, she was kind of on with what an alligator has. Alligators only have they have a pineal gland. They don't have much more than a lamprey. Eating and drinking, this is your thirst center. So you could, if you are dehydrated, this is what gives the sense of thirst. So we're still talking primitive. Body temperature, you get cold, what does the body do?
Shivers.
It shivers. It takes blood away from the surface of the skin and takes it around, puts it around the viscera, and you shiver. And if you're too hot, you sweat. This is controlled by the hypothalamus. What do you want, Curtis? How do they figure this out? Well, most of this was done on chimpanzees or other animals, but brain surgery was done. Where was the first major brain surgery done in experiments on the brain? It was done in Germany. A lot of information came out of the abuse of the Jews, huh? And lastly, circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms are what makes you you. So I get up every day between 5:30 and 6, no matter what day it is. If I force myself to sleep to 7 or 8, I feel like crap. And the same is for you. If you have to get up earlier than you're used to getting up, you don't feel very good. In fact, your body's doing what it's supposed to be doing while you're sleeping. So your body is on a circadian rhythm. And that's exactly what boot camps are for in the military. First day you're there, 5 a.m. Second day, for the rest of the 90 days, 5 a.m. They're adjusting your circadian rhythm. They're feeding you exactly at the same time. This is a really important talking point for going on to college. I don't know what I've told you. I've told you lots of different stuff. And Mr. Lee was kind of echoing the same thing. If you're a person that can get up reasonably well in the morning, you should target your first class about 45 minutes to an hour after you get up normally. That will improve your chances of succeeding. If you're a person that sleeps in, you might want to target the afternoon classes, although those are a little harder to get A's in. They're statistically proven. And never ever do something that you're not used to doing. And here's an example of what I did. When my first year, I only did 1 year at Davis. My first quarter at Davis, I took all my classes on Tuesday and Thursday. First class at 7, last class ended at 8 o'clock at night, 1 hour for lunch, no breaks in between. I got A's, but it was the most miserable quarter of my life because I couldn't do the things I normally do. I eat lunch between 12 and 1. I've been doing it my whole life. Navy, embedded in me. Supper is around 5 to 6. It couldn't do that. It totally messed with it. So if you're aware of yourself, that's how you can get a leg up in college. So that's a little bit of the circadian rhythms of doing well in college. And the pineal gland secretes melatonin. And it's your biological clock. It tells you when it's your diurnal clock. It tells you when it's night or day. And melatonin promotes sleepiness. I put that up there because the melatonin that your body makes you sleepy, but what you buy in the drugstore does not work. No, it's just somebody chemically made melatonin. They didn't extract it from anything. It doesn't work, so don't waste your time on it. And your circadian rhythms are up, of course, work along with your pineal glands. Okay, now on to the cerebellum. The cerebellum is located here on top of the pons. And this is a really cool and still primitive kind of part of the brain, because just walking down this passageway or hallway or whatever aisleway takes an amazing amount of number of muscles for me to look smooth. So when you see me on the PGA, you know, in a couple of years, I'll be standing right behind Tiger Woods.
Senior short?
I'll be watching. I just told you, you didn't even let me finish the story.
You can play though. You won't have it.
The cerebellum takes literally hundreds of muscles and coordinates the ballet of writing with a pencil or shooting a basketball or running down the street or driving a car. So that your cerebellum plays a large role in coordinating all of those muscles.
So what is muscle memory?
This is where it happens, right here.
That's the memory, it's not actually a muscle memory?
That's right. This is where, if you're a shot putter, you think about where you throw the discus in the shot put, right? Whatever, you throw a lot of things. When you were a freshman and you were throwing them, you had to like concentrate on a lot of things. A lot of your form is there because you've done it 1,000 times, right? That's the cerebellum working. And all of your posture and your balance is coordinated here. Things you don't have to think of, muscle memory.
Did you just say what
Okay, the cerebrum is what you colored yesterday. It has 4 lobes, and this is your intellectual part of your brain. This is where the ability to write and speak and think and reason come from. And if you look at a brain, it looks like it's all folded in itself, correct? Those are called gyri or fissures. Fissures are larger ones, gyries are the little folds in the brain. And if you take an anthropology class, physical anthropology, you'll probably spend some time looking at developing brains, and brains from more primitive animals. Are there animals with bigger brains than humans?
Yes.
Heck yeah. A freaking whale brain is like, I don't know, as big as a Volkswagen. Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't have a big brain. But if you look at brains like that, they are not as folded. Believe it or not, a whale brain is probably pretty well folded, or has lots of fissures. But looking at like a horse brains are not. The limbic system. Your limbic system surrounds the brain, and this is your emotional memory. This is everything from things you really enjoy to really traumatic episodes that you can't forget. My oldest sister is probably the most scared of snakes out of everybody I've ever encountered, because I've done a lot of snake stuff, either catching around snakes or having snakes in my classroom. When she was 3 and my dad was with her in Germany, why my dad did it I don't know, but they tore down a house because there was a snake infestation they couldn't clear, and there was a big pit of snakes, and my dad held her over the pit. My sister, it doesn't matter how nice a snake would be, she would run it over, kill it, run away from it, whatever. And that's because of the limbic system. It's limbic system. Okay, we're almost done. Your brain is well supplied with oxygen and nutrients. What is the main nutrient your brain needs? Besides oxygen, there's lots of minerals involved with the physiology of the brain, but what makes the brain work? You guys have all been here where, let me finish and you can answer. Have you ever felt dizzy and, kind of off balance?